Hello everyone, I am Divya Verma, teacher of Social Studies, Class 7, Mount Litra Z School, Jhansi. So students, today we will be talking about chapter number 7 of Geography, that is Human Environment, Settlement, Transport and Communication. So let's first talk about the topic settlement in this chapter. So, settlement can be defined as an organized group of human habitation where people build their houses to live in is known as a settlement. And settlements vary in size from a small dwelling to a cluster of houses with well developed and planned amenities and facilities. Now, the choice of location of a settlement is influenced by a number of factors such as the topography of a region, availability of water, availability of electricity, fertility of land, favorable climate, trade potential areas, etc. And the settlement may consist of villages, towns and cities. In other words, settlement may be rural or urban. Now the rural settlements are settlement where the economy of it is based on any of the primary occupations such as agriculture, fishing and cattle rearing. Rural settlements may vary in size from an isolated dwelling located in the mountains to numerous villages around the fertile agricultural land in the plains. And the climate and local environment play an important role in building the settlement in rural areas. For example, houses are built on stilts in flood-prone areas to provide protection against flooding. So this is what rural settlement is. Now here are some patterns of rural settlement. As rural settlement have about 5 patterns or shapes. They are linear, circular, dispersed, nucleated and radial pattern. So let's first talk about the type of pattern, that is linear pattern. So linear pattern is the pattern when settlement develop along a linear feature such as river, road, railway track, canal, coastline in an elongated or narrow form. It is called the linear pattern of a settlement. You can see here in the diagram given here. So this is a kind of linear pattern of rural settlement. Now let's talk about the another pattern, that is the circular pattern. Now in circular pattern, when a settlement develops in a circular shape around a water body like a tank, lake, pond or an oasis, it is said to be in a circular pattern that you can see on the screen. Now the another type of pattern is the dispersed pattern of settlement. It is also known as scattered settlement. This pattern consists of isolated dwelling or a few clusters of houses scattered over a large area. Settlement of this pattern are generally found in forest areas, hilly tracts, deserts or remote areas. So this is the dispersed or scattered type of pattern in the rural settlement. Now, the next is the nucleated pattern. So, nucleated pattern are compact settlements where dwellings are located close together. This pattern is found in plains. These settlements are found at crossroads in the form of market. You can see this on the screen, that what is nuclear type of pattern. And now the another type of pattern is the radial pattern, that is also called as star-like pattern. So, radial pattern refers to a settlement that comes up along roads and lanes which diverge in all directions from a central point. This type of settlement forms a star-like pattern and it also helps to ease the traffic. So, this is what a radial pattern of settlement is. So, these were such patterns of rural settlement. Now, let's talk about the urban settlement. So, urban settlement as compared to rural settlement, urban settlements are bigger in size. Urban settlements are equipped with a number of services and amenities like education, healthcare, market, banks, etc. Urban settlements are classified on the basis of functions they perform. Now here are some classifications of urban settlement. Now according to the towns. So the first town is the administrative towns. Administrative towns are where centers of administration and governance or national or state capitals are there. For example, New Delhi, Washington, Moscow, and also some other centers are the administrative towns. Now another can be the temple town, or we can say the religious towns. These are the centers of religious activities and have important shrines. For example, Mecca in Saudi Arabia and Allahabad in India, Jerusalem in Israel, and other religious towns as well. Now the another type of town can be the mining town. These towns are located in the area rich in mineral deposits. For example, Dhanbad in India, Kalgoorlie in Australia, Valais in USA. Okay. Now the another type of town can be the defense towns. So these towns are the centers catering to security and defense of a region. And Pathankot in India, Halifax in Canada, Munster in Germany, and some other defense towns are also there. So these are such urban settlement towns you can see. Now let's talk about the another topic of this chapter is transport. Transport, now you must be aware of this term transport. So transport can be defined as a system of carrying people or goods from one place to another. This is transport. In ancient times, people carried goods and rode on the back of animals. Now then, with the invention of new and modern means of transport, carrying goods and people from one place to another became easier and faster. Today, the world has come closer due to modern means of transport only. Now there are some types of transport. The four major types of transport can be roadways, railways, waterways, airways. Now let's talk about the first type of transport, that is the roadways. Cities, towns and villages are connected by roads. Roads have certain advantages, like roads are easier and cheaper to build and maintain. Roads can send goods directly to the doorstep. Roads serve as very efficient form of transport for short distances and can be laid with relative ease through forest and mountains as compared to other forms of transport. However, there are some disadvantages also of roadways, like movement of bulky material by roads in large quantity is not easy and cheap. Besides, traffic jam, increasing fuel prices and frequent road accidents are recurrent issues while traveling by road. Okay, so these are some advantages and disadvantages of roadways. Now the total length of roadways in India is more than 33 lakh kilometer. It includes national highways, state highways, district roads and rural roads as well. Now let's talk about the another type of transport, that is railways. So railways has made an important technological development since their inception. The journey of railways began with coal steam engine and went on from monorail to modern underground metros. Railways transport people in passenger trains and the goods train, carry heavy raw material and finished goods in bulk over long distances in a relatively shorter period of time. The railways are also the cheaper mode of transport as compared to roadways and airways. However, railways require large investment for its construction and maintenance. It is difficult to lay railway lines through hilly or mountainous regions, and door-to-door connectivity is also not possible in a railway network. The foundation of railways was laid in India by the British in the year 1853. The first railway line was laid between Mumbai and Thane. Since then, railway network has grown and expanded tremendously. Now let's talk about the another type of transport, that is waterways. So waterways are usually the cheapest and the most suitable means of transporting the heavy raw material and commodities. Most of the international trade is done through waterways. Apart from port and harbour maintenance, waterways do not require much expenditure. There are two types of waterways, inland waterways and oceanic waterways. Inland waterways includes navigable river, lakes and canals across which passengers and cargo are carried through boats and streams. And the oceanic waterways is another type of waterways which carries large amount of loads as compared to roads, rivers, railways and airways. Now the another type of transport is the airways. So airways provide the fastest mode of transport. Airways are useful not in transporting people and goods from one place to another, but also help during natural calamities such as earthquake and floods, and are especially important from defense purpose. However, airways are expensive. Maintenance of aircraft, the crew and airport require large amount of capital investment. Airways are also affected by the weather conditions, and therefore at times there are delays in flights. There are two types of airways: domestic airways and international airways. Domestic airways connect different places within a country, and international airways connect different countries to of the world. So these were some types of transport. Now let's talk about the another topic of this chapter, that is the communication. So let's know about what is communication. So communication is an exchange of ideas, feelings or meaning between two or more persons. Communication can be of two types: personal communication and mass communication. Personal communication takes place between two people, and mass communication reaches large number of people. Some sources of communicating with each other are letter, telephones, emails. These are such personal communicating things, while radio, newspaper, magazines, and social networking tools such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp are the means of mass communication. The first important invention in the long distance communication was the telegraph machine in 1837 that enabled people to transport or communicate over a long distance. The invention of telephone in 1875 revolutionized long distance communication. Telefax allowed messages and pictures to be sent at high speed across the world. Mobile or cellular phones have further contributed to the revolution in communication technology. So these were such types and examples of communication. So here in this chapter we had seen the types of settlement, transport and communication. Now you all can read the chapter from the book and LR. Thank you.